Docking request accepted.
Good morning, New Eden. Today is April 5th, 2026, and this is the Federation Frontline Report. I'm your host, Frozen Fallout, and my co host is Samson.
Good morning, New Eden.
And we also have a very special guest today. Today we'll be interviewing the Frozen Crypt Keeper. How's it going, man?
Greetings, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was really cool hearing about your website, and definitely something that I want to get into, and we'll be definitely talking about and kind of showing off. There seems to be some cool new features that you just deployed as well that we were not familiar with. We were just kind of gawking at before the show started. But
Yeah,
before we jump into that, though, I just want to kind of do the intro of like one of the things that we do with all of our guests is how did you get into Eve Online? When did you hear about this game, and what really piqued your interest?
okay. So, way back in the day in high school, before I learned how to build my own PCs or get into computer science, I bought an Alienware with terrible cooling, which eventually melted. But they allowed three pieces of pre-installed software: World of Warcraft, Steam, and Eve Online. And I
Oh,
had never heard
really?
about Eve. Yeah, I had never heard of Eve Online before. Like, I had friends that talked about Steam and WoW. So I gave that a Google search, and I spent like the week waiting for my PC to ship, like just watching the many trailers they have for all the expansions and all the races. And I was like, okay. And that was the first thing I booted up was Eve on that computer. I definitely thought it was going to be World of Warcraft when I first saw that list, but it was Eve.
That's awesome. That's interesting. I didn't even know that there was any computers that got pre-shipped with Eve.
Yeah,
That
I
sounds
didn't know that either. That's cool.
Yeah, that was in
Ink
2010
code.
before I recycled that character, and then my new main got created in 2012.
okay. So, what was some of the first things that really kept you in Eve Online?
Some of the things that got me into it were like exploration, because like classic sci-fi explorer. So one of the first like new adventures that like any vet was like, no, that's a terrible idea, was I made the journey to the wormhole or the collapsed wormhole in the center of New Eden. And they're all like, it's going to be a huge letdown. Don't do it. And I spent like an hour jumping through all the low sec and dangerous systems to get there. And I'm like, dang, this is it. Like, come on. So that was like my first real adventure. And then I got into like some wormhole corps. And then I got into factional warfare after that.
Awesome. So, which side of faction warfare did you join?
I started fighting you guys. I was a member of the glorious Caldari state, avenging the war crimes you committed against us. And then I came
Sorry.
back to the game. No, it's funny. I love RPing. I try to keep them
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
all
Oh yeah.
separate, but since we're talking about my main a little bit. And then I had some friends that were from Amar, and like I didn't have a lot of real life friends playing anymore, so I switched to the Amar militia to play with them.
All right, from squid to slave traders. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it
I
it,
have
it
to give
still
you
feels
crap.
a
It's
little
it.
weird. No, no, it's good. I love it. I love all
it's,
the
it's
smack
part of
talk
it.
as long as it's
It's part of it.
yeah, in game and not using gamer
Well,
words, you know.
what's funny, yeah, what's funny is Gwen and my alt, my first alt, they're both Amar. pilots because I fucking love lasers. But I came up with my own, like, I mean, they don't fight for the
Amar do have
Amar. They
some
left.
really
They
great
don't
ships.
they don't answer to the Amar, but they were you know, they were created or born as Amar. So, but yeah, I love lasers. I that was the biggest thing. I was like, I love lasers, and I was like, oh, not too keen on the whole slave thing. So maybe I'll just maybe we're former slaves or something. You know, like I don't know. Like I was like I like thinking about that
Yeah,
RP, and then
it's a little rough to RP. I'll
the
admit sometimes I'll be all like, maybe this isn't the most fun side to to RP.
corpse enjoyers. Yes, I know. We're not even there yet. Calm down, Sark.
Oh well, if they
So,
add the Blood Raider faction,
Dude,
I'm
if they added the
oh
switching.
Blood
yeah,
Raider faction, I
yeah,
would
yeah,
never
yeah.
leave the
I
Gallente.
have I
We
have
would
at least
drop
one
the
sanguine
Federation frontline report,
harvester.
and we would just be talking about how the Blood Raiders are murdering everybody, and
Yeah. So,
that we worship the Blood God.
the worship, yeah, blood for the blood god, blood for the blood god. um, that's really cool. So you've been in the game for a while. You said 2010 was when you started.
Yeah, it's been on and off. Like if you really look at my kill board, like you'll
Oh,
see
well,
I'll play for like 3 to 6
yeah.
months, quit for a
Hmm.
while, and then come back. So I like to say I'm like a perpetual noob, like forever
Well,
learning things about New Eden.
so there's this thing like I mean I don't some people call it rage quitting, some people call it taking breaks, some people call it winning Eve. There's a point where after you've come back and I think now that you've created the, the frozen crypt, I think you're at that point where you're never going to like leave, because even if you did like stop playing or win Eve, you've already made this huge impression on the player base and the community by creating something like this for us niche corpse enjoyers, as Zark first time chatter said in Twitch chat. So about that, real quick. Um, I mean, you saw this, and people have seen this on the show before. Gwen, or me, myself, uh, very much always been a necromancer. So I think that's one of the reasons why when Frozen said, "Hey, have you heard about this website?" I'm like, "What are you talking? What website?" It's like the Frozen Crypt, and I'm like, "Oh, no, I've never heard about that." It's, oh yeah, it's a corpse collecting, and I'm like, what? And I was like, oh, I want to see what this is. I'll log in, and then immediately it started scanning my stuff, and I was like, oh, it's actually scanning. Like I was, I was like, and then I was like, holy crap, this is cool. And then like for the first 2 seconds, I was on the top 10 for until we told everybody else. But it's funny. Like so what's your story? So that's your intro to Eve, but what makes you like to collect corpses?
So, when I started this project, I actually didn't have too many. Across all my characters, I think I had about 70. But like through my experience in New Eden, there's always someone in whatever corporation you are that has the frozen body collection, and you see them linking it in Discord or whatever in a bunch of disjointed screenshots. And spring
Yes.
break for me was coming up, and I knew I wanted to work on some personal projects, and I knew I wanted to build something for Eve. And at first I started with this market thing, and I was like, let's see if we can find something a little bit simpler to work on with databases and stuff first, because I'm in some database courses. And I was in a militia Monday fleet, which the MAR runs every Monday. So if you're looking for something fun to do, show up. And
We
we
can go
were with
kill
a
them.
special, yeah, come show up, come shoot at us. We had a special guest, Blood Raider Oomphy, and they were talking about their corpse collection a little bit in fleet, and that's when it hit me. I'm like, there's Z Killboard, but there's no trophy case. You have to send like some screenshot. It'd be so much cooler if
Hmm.
I could just send you a link that's like, hey, I have your corpse in the freezer.
Yeah.
So that's
Love it.
that's where the lightning struck, and I was like, I started researching. I was like, has someone tried to build this before? What are the obstacles? How am I going to do it? And
Speaking of which,
that
I'm gonna link it.
that's how it came about. It turns 3 weeks old tomorrow.
Wow,
Nice.
so
That's
this is
wow.
very, very recent. I didn't realize how recent actually.
I mean, I kind
Yes,
of had a
it's
thought like that it was recent, at least as far as it being used publicly, because there was like not very many people at first, and then as soon as we told people about it, all of a sudden there's people with 60,000 like the top person has like 60,000 plus corpses, um,
yeah,
and
that was
so
a
yeah,
surprise. The site was at
it's like
75,000 total unique corpses, and then I refreshed the page, and all of a sudden it's broken 100,000 because I was waiting. I was excited about that milestone. But I clicked on the guy's page and it took like 45 seconds to load. And I'm like, okay, I thought I set this up correctly where it won't load every entry, but obviously that's not the case. So before I was excitedly announcing to people, hey, we got a new person, I was frantically trying to fix that loading.
yeah, yeah. So that you're testing in prod as as is tradition.
Oh
Right.
yeah, yeah.
It's, and it's a lot of I think it's funny that a lot of people in Eve are in IT. And so that's an interesting thing. And so you had mentioned to me that this is like you said a portfolio piece, like you're working, like this is I think it's a really good example, like because it's already become like a real world usage. um I, it might be a little on the morbid side, so I guess,
Yeah,
but
I
I
was.
know that could be because like, but I mean obviously there are people like
More and
us
more
that are,
millennials are taking over corporations every day. So.
well,
Very true.
yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, I'm technically a millennial. I'm just an old one.
Hmm.
I'm an elder millennial.
It is quite
But
the range of years. I don't remember the exact
yeah,
range, but it's a little
but
long.
uh, but yeah, I don't know. I felt like I'm sorry. I felt like Frozen assumed your generation. I didn't think that
No, no,
was.
I was
No,
saying that
Oh,
that
he's correct.
people are more open to a
oh, I see what you're saying.
portfolio that
Yeah.
has Crypt Keeper, on
Ah,
it.
so yes.
Yeah,
Frozen
I
Crypt.
think people understand people are gamers, especially if you're
Yeah,
Mhm.
involved in the tech world. So
yeah,
like
especially
I
the
Yeah,
feel like
tech
it makes
world.
sense.
That's
yeah.
a
They go
there's
hand in hand,
very
especially
few.
because a lot, I mean, there's obviously the gaming industry where people are coding games, but there's also websites for
Funny
games, and
enough, I
there's
believe
all kinds of stuff.
I was talking to the guy that recruited my wife for her. She does installation for point of sales, and he was like, "Well, I heard that she played video games."
Yeah,
He was like, "Well, that right there cemented. Like she already had experience with like point of sale systems and like messing with them and stuff
yeah.
like that." So she was like, they were like, "Oh yeah, this is perfect
You
fit. You
know,
play video games too? Then yeah."
what's what's funny. This was a long time ago. I'm not gonna. I won't go on for more than a minute here, but like I interviewed for a job for like a front end developer position a long time ago at this like company that made like flooring, like industrial flooring, and it turns out they were very very into WoW. And
Ooh.
so they did like one of those group interviews, which by the way, I hate. Don't do fucking like 12 people group interviews. That's just terrible. I did fine, but like, don't do that. And the problem was though that when it came down to it, like we were talking about everything and stuff, and then they that I found out that they were all Alliance, and I was the only Horde in the room. So I was like, well, I'm not gonna part of this.
For,
I was
for the Horde.
I
That's
was
so funny.
for the Horde, motherfucker. I was an undead rogue that had like 30,000 PvP kills. I loved killing people in the game, and uh and so like I was like the opposite of what they were looking for on that side of things. I think that affected the interview a little bit.
I'm sorry,
but yeah,
but you don't seem like
it's
a
an
good
interesting.
culture fit for us.
Yeah, I don't think for the horde,
You're a
bitch.
spy.
No, I'm not. Never,
Never.
never,
No
never be a
spying.
spy. I think. Well, my title doesn't say anymore in game, but it used to say not a spy. But anyways, uh, so let's see here.
So what are some
What?
of the new features that you like?
Yeah,
What are the features that you have on your website? Gwen, if you do want to pull up the website, we can kind of show it off here a little bit.
yeah. Let me pull that up for you. Frozen Crypt. Share screen. Let me close this other
So,
stuff.
so right now, the main new thing that you guys haven't seen is there's a page for corporations and alliances. So it gives a new leaderboard where if you're a CEO of a corp or you're the CEO of the executor corp, you can create their respective pages, and then
Oh, you
all
added
your
us.
members are aggregated into that, so you can compete with other body collectors. So right now, Imperium Edict is #1 on the corp ratings, which is
Mm,
Say Riot's corp. He's been a heavy supporter of this since the
yeah,
beginning. As
he did because he sounds so familiar. It has to be Spectre, right? He was pretty sure he
um,
was either that or
I
just lived in Abazon. He might have lived in. He might be an Abazon
Uh, at
local.
least not now. I couldn't speak to his history. You
Well,
might know him
Spectre's
from LPE trading. He's got a huge LP trade service, so shout out to
mm,
that. You know, maybe you'd
nice.
get something from your stream.
Maybe, I mean, I've heard of the name before, and he has Varian's corpse, I think. So that's he
Yeah,
either
he's
fought with
been
or against Varian. So,
yeah, he's
but
been fighting for that #10 spot on the board. People have been trying to push him off, but he keeps clawing his way back on. So congrats
yeah,
to
yeah,
him.
yeah, good job. And but now Federation Frontline Report is the second
Yeah,
corporation.
you guys are
So, but if
giving that corp
if
a
that
run
dude
for
with the
the money.
60,000 corpses fucking joins a corp, then we're fucked.
Yeah.
Or adds his corp, then we're fucked.
Yeah,
But yeah,
he's kind of a mystery because I haven't like used any superpowers or anything to try to figure out who he is. He's just like I think he's probably like a Jita trade alt or something, like maybe one of the Jita
yeah. I
corp
mean, because
traders. But
there are people that trade corpses. Like I that's one thing that I've never done. I've always collected them myself from murdering nerds in space. But like, and there's nothing against that. But there's an actual trade for that stuff. Like people actually buy and sell um corpses. I
oh
think I
yeah,
need to see if I
for sure.
I'll move this
One of
over
the
here.
coolest things I saw, and like Kento Bento Box joined the Discord one day and he's like, "What do you think of my most prized possession?" And he linked the top one on his favorites list, the Tranquility Trading CEO, which is the account that ran the trade hub right next to Jita out of that player station. And if you go to
Mhm.
Zkill, this this guy's only been potted once. So unless like he was like self-destructing his pod, that's the only corpse out there of this guy, and he's pretty famous. So I'd
Wow,
say that's
rare.
probably one of the
Well,
like rare, unique ones.
so that's what we were talking about. So there is a Discord too. Y'all can join. I think there's a link on the website, right, for the
Yes,
Discord.
it
Oh, that's why I moved it away from this. Okay. Let me see if I can zoom out on this. There we go. E- Is it another
right there
dashboard?
in
Oh,
the
it's just fucking right in my
it's
face.
in
It's a
the
banner.
yeah the gold
So,
banner.
yeah, check the golden banner to join the Discord. But we were talking about like features and stuff because you can make suggestions and you can discuss about it and report bugs or whatnot. Um, and you were talking about like tags and stuff to add to corpses. So like if you go to you'll see that there's tags like CSM, like see this guy's
Yep.
excavator gravekeeper, I can't talk, has brisks and villies, and this is CSMs. There's AC leaders, Alliance tournament people, CCP people,
Yeah, the CCP and the GM lists are
GM.
complete. I made something that if any of them get added, it will just auto tag them. I'm still working on the other lists. I'm basically just compiling huge spreadsheets and then I'm gonna push them through the site's
Spreadsheets in
database.
space.
Yes, truly. That's some of my classmates might be watching, and they they always say that to me when I bring up Eve because they don't get the spaceship simulator. They're like
Yeah.
spreadsheets in space. When you see the enemy spreadsheets, the
Yeah,
classic meme.
spreadsheets in space. But but thinking about now, like what you just said with that one character where there's literally only one corpse. I'm thinking, and this is something you maybe already, because I have like a million discords, and I apologize if someone didn't already bring this up, but like the rarity of the corpse, meaning the amount of the uniqueness. Like if there's only one, that's like the highest rarity or legendary or whatever, unique, whatever you want to call it. And then like if there's more than 10, then it's like common or something. Like I don't know what the numbers would be, but
Yeah,
like that
I
kind of
would.
makes sense to me.
I've
Rarity.
I've thought about the rarity a little bit, and I would probably make some kind of value that takes the tags of the corpses and then some kind of ratio based on like its kills and deaths and pod losses. I don't know exactly what that ratio would be right now, but something like that, and then kind of tie it together because it's kind of hard to compare like the Tranquility trading CEO with someone who like actually like does combat and like FCs and stuff because that person's gonna
E-
die a lot more, and then the other one is
True,
like
true, true.
famous, like it's special because it's famous and like
Mm,
who it belonged to
true.
and like what that
Right.
corp did.
Because that would make randos, like someone who logged in for the first time and died, a rare corpse, which wouldn't be rare because nobody knows who they are. That makes sense.
Yeah. So that's
I
definitely
see.
on like one
It's a
of the
lot to
long
think about.
term. Yeah, it's on the long term to-do list, but there's a lot to go into making something that would actually be like a viable rarity value. But
Mm.
so my
Yeah,
goal
that
is
makes a
to get
lot
the
of
tags
sense.
first.
I
Yeah,
And
like
no,
that.
tags
we'll
make
do
sense.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, because then like tags
Yeah,
make the
because that
most
would
sense
be
because
one of
they exist.
the
It's
features
a
in that
thing.
too.
Yeah, I like this. Like Orion has all of like the CSM.
Yeah, he's got a lot of famous people. I think it's the total number of CCP corpses, unique was 17. So I definitely hope that list gets expanded, and then there'll be like a page where you can like sort by tags and look at the different tags of the corpses on the site eventually.
Hmm. Nice. Yeah, uh we need to get more people on here so you can start getting, we can start getting, because like man, that's a lot. Like if you look at where is it? It shows, yeah, 135,000 frozen corpses cataloged here, and of course almost half of them are this fucking guy. Uh
Yeah, it's that's the unique value. So there'll definitely be overlap between everyone's, but yeah, he's
yeah,
contributed a lot. One of the most impressive
this is a
things
unique
about his
this is a unique
number
value.
is yes.
Okay.
So what's impressive about the guy in first is he only has about like 300 uh like duplicates,
Hmm.
like
Really?
300,
Oh.
400. Yeah, because if you look, it's like
Yeah, it's like
61
300 and
400. Yeah,
335 duplicates. That's crazy.
yeah,
That's
that's I really want to know who that dude's main is. I'm very curious. Even
yeah.
even Rudy, if you're watching, if you don't want to
Well,
know, people to
here's one
know,
of the
just
things.
please DM me, man.
Here's one of the things uh um let's see, Zkill. If I put their name into Zkill and they don't have anywhere near the amount of kills that they have corpses, for example, this guy's a collector or a trader because he's never really killed anybody. Look.
Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah,
hunted down. given
Yeah.
somehow.
But like you said, he could have a main or somebody else that gave
That's
him all the
true.
corpses.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
but I mean, my suspicion is corpse trading, but you know, and I can see this like is already kind of like there's like
Who
this.
would deal in corpse trading?
I don't no. Just because I don't buy corpses doesn't mean that I wouldn't or that I feel like I look down on those people. But like you were saying, it is a difference between yes, I'm jealous and kind of annoyed, but there's a difference between like you said, someone who gets the corpses through combat and or like you said does combat and therefore has more corpses versus people that have less corpses because they don't do combat, or people that do combat, a lot of combat, but they don't have that many corpses
Could you do a
because they're good
thing
at
where
the
you
combat.
could check if they have a corresponding kill mail that they're on for like on Z kill, and if they have a Z kill like
No, but
match?
there's no the Z kill doesn't
So
have the corpse itself like
it
well
does
no
have the pod
well
losses. So I
it
have
has the
thought
pod
about a
loss, yeah.
Right.
feature
So
that
if you
tries
were
to.
involved
But
in the pod loss and you have
there's no unique ID for that corpse versus the pod loss. So you won't be able to tie a
Correct.
specific corpse
no,
to
not a
a
specific corpse to
kill.
do that, but
Yeah,
you
It
but
could
would
you
be
can
kind of
compare the numbers.
yeah, the names
a
and the
best
numbers.
guess estimate. As the site goes on, I could do some kind of system where it compares with like if it's new, when it gets added to the site compared to this guy's like most recent pod kill. But there is real no information on the item. Like the way it works behind the scenes is it gives you all the user's assets. There's no way to server side filter it, like ask, hey, can I have all this user's like ammo or all this user's corpses? So the
But
server
see,
takes everything, filters it down to corpses, and then takes the
hmm,
name of that item and gets the character. And that's the information I use to get the character ID and everything else. But there's
hmm.
no information about like
Now,
when that
technically,
corpse was
you are
created or
getting
anything.
everybody's item information, though. Anybody that does sign up on here.
Technically, for a moment, if you look at the privacy page of the website, which is linked in the bottom right,
Oh,
it
okay.
will it explicitly says all the steps. So it's in the server memory, but none of that touches the database or anything, because the first thing that happens is it filters down to those two items only
And then
and
it
deletes
pulls them.
everything else from memory. And then it does it checks the database to see if they're already in there, creates any like new unique corpse information, tags it CCP if it's a new CCP or GM corpse, and then adds that to the database. But yeah, I would love if CCP did some more like ESI stuff, gave us more corpse information, or like made it so that you could request just certain items or certain types from the
Yeah, like
server.
can I just request corpses rather than everything and then find the corpses?
Yeah, I
That's
feel like there'd be a lot less mistrust if there was something like that, but with the current system, this
Well,
is like the best it can be, and I just try to show everyone that I'm trying to deliver this cool thing and
you're
make a
not you're
trophy case for everybody.
right. You're not trying. Well, one of the things, I mean, it does open this up so that there's a couple things that I kind of want to touch base on that. With one being that you kind of brought up is that this Eve is a very interesting universe when it comes to like knowing like information is key in Eve, but also
mm-hmm.
like Eve is one of the most like to just get into a corporation you have to give over so much crazy amount of information
Oh,
because you're like you want to get involved in something. Eve Online is definitely a game that asks more from its individual players when it comes to doing certain projects. But one thing that this I want to kind of jump over to is that this also opens you up to doing more than just corpses, though. like you can also have hanger, like trophies in general beyond. I think that you can even keep like this all in the frozen crypt kind of like system. Like, I mean, the idea of it is that like items that are, because you could find like different kind
You
of
mean like
like
who has the
AT
biggest?
ships. You could find any kind of like one of the more unique dreadnoughts that are out there, or the unique titans that are out there. That if you wanted to, because one of the things is in Eve is a lot of people have station hangars filled with trophies that kind of were promised at one point to be able to be displayed in your room that you were going to get when and we were going to have walking in stations and stuff like that. But I feel like you have a really, really cool niche thing I think you have here, but the way that they're forcing you to kind of access it opens you up to be able to do a lot more with the information that you have as well, as long as people understand what they're signing up for, type kind of thing.
I hadn't really thought about it, but what you're saying is 100% correct. If I did it, I'd probably make a whole nother separate site. I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to like betray like the trust of
That
people
actually
who
makes sense, and
already
this is
gave
a
me
cool
access.
niche, super nichey kind of, but it's
Yeah,
also a special kind
but
of niche. Really, you're gonna get
you're
fanatics out of this.
you're right. You could definitely make something that keeps track of who has the most exotic dancers in their hangar or something.
Yes.
So that would
Yeah.
so if anyone's looking for a project, maybe they hop on that one. That one's free from the the gang here.
But it just kind of brought up the idea of like, because you were talking a lot about like trophies and stuff like that, and it just is like, there's so much station hangar trophies that people have that they
Yeah.
can't show off in any meaningful way in Eve at this point.
Yeah, and a
Yeah,
corpse
I
room would be
really
pretty awesome.
yeah, that would be very cool. That kind of goes with like something someone asked me at the beginning of the project. They were like, "What if this goes like the way of the hypernet and CCP adds something to the game that like makes this pointless? Like you make like the hangar corpse tracking or something." And like I thought about it for a moment. I was like, "That's a good question," but like if CCP wanted it and was like, this is a feature like good enough for us to actually add to the game, like that would be like just such a huge compliment. And then I'd be all like,
Yeah,
hey, do you got a job for
and
me? Maybe.
yes, but I like to point out, us necromancers have been shunned by most mainstream outlets for centuries. People don't like us for some reason. I don't know what it is. Going back to some of the earliest, just keeping in the RP, some of the earliest, well, Dungeons and Dragons, of course, but like the earliest MMOs, for example, EverQuest, not to bring up my age. But like if you played a necromancer, you were a kill on sight to just about everybody. And I feel corpse collectors are kind of akin to like necromancers a little bit. Just a tad, perhaps. I mean, so like a lot of people in game are like,
I think
ew,
corpse collector can be much more
corpse collector.
broad. Can be
Yes, it
can encompass
can,
a
but
lot of different groups. But you're
I know,
definitely one of
but
their target audience. That's
yes. So, so that being said, yeah, like it's like how in faction warfare, I remember being everybody knowing that Gwen was like the queen of solo gate camping left a bad taste in their mouth. Like when we were doing faction warfare with all of our hardcore, faction warfare and people that are just like out there to fight for the Galente, and I'm over here just murdering people on a gate. I know that rubbed people the wrong way, certain people. And it's just, I think it's the same way with corpse collecting, because like if you go, yeah, I got it. Like some people are like legitimately creeped out that you have over 1,000 corpses in your hangar.
You
Like,
know,
what is
they just
wrong with
don't get
you?
it. They
Yes,
don't
exactly.
see it,
They
and
don't get it.
that's okay. It's their loss.
Yes.
Maybe they'll see the light someday. They'll see a collection so good they'll be all like, I get it now. I see the light.
So I wished that when we had walking in stations, that I think just one of the biggest boons would have allowed somebody to come to your quarters, and the first item that they should have been, and they didn't have to do any others beyond this. Just the first one was that you could decorate your room with corpses. But you had to have the corpses in your inventory in order to do it.
Yeah.
Although it is really easy to get a lot of one corpse or multiple like corpse in this game, in the sense of like you can have all of your all of your alts can undock, blow themselves up 5
And you
to
can
10
take the
times,
corpses. Yeah, true.
take the corpses. Is there anything that you're going to incorporate that kind of focuses more on the uniqueness of the like corpse, or I mean not necessarily even the uniqueness, like because there's unique that you have like right now of how many unique corpses that you have. Is there anything though of like trying to are you concerned at all about anybody trying to game the system, I guess is one of the things I guess I'm getting at.
Not really, because like in all things in Eve, things cost time. So if you really, really want to do that and spend your time doing that, like, all right, because the pages already keep track of like how many total of someone's corpse exist, and then the unique owners of that. And then also, if you're going for some kind of leaderboard ranking, that's based off the unique corpses right now, not total. So if you do like buy a bunch of corpses off someone, like, and they're all duplicates, like that doesn't really help you that much. So it would be part of the rarity value that eventually gets included, but I'm not too worried about people who want to try to farm their own corpses, because the average price I think right now for a random like nobody is like $1 million. And then if you set up a contract with someone who's like actually cares about getting unique corpses, like they're gonna look at that and be all like, "Man, you're trying to sell me 50 of the same," and probably not accept. Or maybe you do game them, which is part of Eve. Like they released that trailer where it's like, "Hey, go scam your alliance," or whatever, and they've officially said like things like scam contracts are part of the game. So that's kind of just on like I'm not too worried about people trying to farm like 100 of the same corpse, I guess is my very short answer to that question.
Not a big concern.
Well,
if they're interested in corpses, usually it's not just a game the system. Because they have
that's
a
funny
genuine
because that
interest
did
in
happen.
corpses.
That did happen to Gwen, but it wasn't. This is way before this existed. But this dude in George Harrison in Amar, he just kept undocking a suspect Corvette, so I just kept shooting it. And the top guy, Rudy 2605, he even has one of his corpses. Lagos has one of his corpses, but I have 102 of his corpses. Because I killed him over 100 times. I don't
See,
know.
and to me that's like a great story. You see that 102 number, it's like there's something
Like,
behind this. And
why?
then like
Why?
you said, there's the like this guy just kept undocking, like he was
But
a
that's why
bot,
I
like
favorited him. He just kept doing it, and people were like, "Oh, don't kill him. He's gonna ruin your standings." Like, I don't give a shit about standings. It's a free corpse. I'm just gonna keep shooting him.
Free
Like,
corpse!
like I could see, like, if he were my like alt or something, which he obviously is not, but like, but I do have my alts corpses. I have both my alts corpses. But I actually don't even of my alts.
Because
I
I
only
got
own
them
4 and 3. Yeah, probably. But I own,
I'm
other
well
than
known
George
for getting
Harrison, I
Gwen and his
own
alt killed.
nine of my own corpses. So there's that. Yeah, I think so. But this out of the there's what 12 of Gwen's corpses out there. The corpse snatcher has one. Um, these two guys, and
Don't
of
I
course
have
I have
one?
the most.
I don't
No,
have
you don't
one
have
of
one of
their
my
corpse.
corpses.
Oh my god! I
I'll
usually
trade
get
you.
myself killed. So.
Speaking of which, that's, you want to
You
talk a
have
little bit
some of
about
my
this section
corpses, don't
here,
you?
the trade board. You can buy
Oh.
or trade and sell corpses. It looks like people are selling corpses. Or this, I'm assuming this is newer, because I remember you
Yes.
talking about it a week ago.
This was I think I made this in the second week it existed. Um, it's still in the early stages, but if you log in, go to your dashboard, you can add you corpses to your buy and your sell lists, and then other people will be able to publicly see those and set up either send you an in-game mail or a Discord message, and then set up
That's
the contract
cool.
with you in game. One cool thing that I like that CCP did since I first started was they added the corpse
I should sell
names
my own
to the
corpse.
contracts.
I need
Is
money.
anyone looking to buy it yet? I know a couple people put
I haven't put
sell
it up
orders
there.
on their own. Some
Yeah,
people
that's what I
have.
said. See, Say Riot has one on their own, so like, obviously, Gwen needs to put up a fucking.
Yeah, some people want to buy back their own because they're like, I don't want to be in other people's inventory. And then some people put their own up for some ridiculous amount as kind of a flex. I'm excited to see what people do with it. I pretty much have been treating it like one of the Disneyland employees, and if you offer me a corpse trade, I'll accept the corpse trade as long as it's not ridiculous.
That's funny. Yeah, it is definitely. I think it's definitely. I mean, it's already proven that players want this. Like, there's no doubt or
Oh
question about
yes,
that. I think
this
we
was
just need to get the word out more.
yes, this the selling, buying and selling was the second most requested feature. It was people would typically ask about the rarity value, and then whether they could buy and sell with the site. So that was pretty important for me to get out there quick. And yeah, the website itself is completely word of mouth. So any links you provide to your friends or your enemies are appreciated.
Yeah,
If you
true. Does anybody want to like if you want some in-game RP, you can be like, look at this. I have this many of your corpses.
Yes, I've had fun linking it to people, and if you go to someone's profile on the bottom right, there's another new feature, the accent button, which allows you to highlight certain corpses. So it has to be a profile page, not one of the crypt pages. So yep, and then on the bottom right there, the accent.
Oh, how does that work?
Yep. So
Corpse.
any corpse that you own on your list, it will bring to the top and highlight and give you a shareable link. I haven't made it clickable yet. It's still
Ah,
kind of early. Some of my stuff has been a little half baked. Originally, it was you had to manually edit the URL, but now if you click that button and then just start typing their name, it'll pop up because it might not always be on the first page. I also
there we
have to
go. I can
make
send this to Trix. I had Trix.
Yeah,
I
you
got your corpse.
that
He might
tricks
be
the
watching right
corpse.
now. There's only 3 Trix's corpses that are owned in the system, and I'm the only one that's favorited it. But I have my reasons. Oops. Uh, and the reasons, of course, is I never mean to headshot Trix. It's always an accident.
Sure, it is.
But yeah. So how does the accent work exactly? Because how do you accent something?
So
Like,
on the like on one of the profiles, I put it in Twitch chat.
oh,
But if you start searching, click the accent button and then search. Yep. So this is the end result. So you can pull um, any corpse up to the top of the list and highlight it. So that way, like your enemy can see it even if you didn't favorite them, and they're on like page 4 or 5 of the inventory list.
and so this is like a this is um like it's a parameter you add to the link.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And so like that way you can, yeah. I understand now. So yeah, you can be like, hey, this is, and then because then they can see that you have this huge collection of corpses, and then they're not even one of your favorites, but they're in there. So
You're
Yeah.
not even one
And
of
you
my
you can
favorites, man.
Yeah, you can do it on your own profile
talking.
or anyone's profile. So if you
That's
click
funny.
the accent button, there's the search pops up. You type it in, and then it will edit the URL for you, and you just copy and paste. Because
Dashboard
I
profile.
wanted it to get used, and I knew like as long as it was completely manual, that's not good enough. The next step
There
will
we
be
go.
making you can click on it and edit the list.
I have oops. Damn it. I hate when I do that. Stop it. I always have this issue with
Yep,
my
there you go.
there you go. There at the
There I
top of the
am.
list with the accent frozen. I have 8 of your corpses.
Yeah, I let my pod get blown up pretty easily out there.
Yeah.
There's lots of my floating corpses in outer space, I'm sure.
There we go. Yeah.
But you're
I mean,
probably
I
one
was
of the highest. I think actually you are. Let me double check here, but I'm pretty sure out of who owns my corpse.
Oh yes, I own the most of your corpses.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because it's easier for me to collect them. I can just grab them right after we fight
I have
somebody.
102 unique corpses that I own.
Oh, your own, your corpse, the corpses that
Yeah.
you own. Yeah, no,
And
but
then
like your corpses.
my
Let's
corpses,
see.
yeah, Gwen is at 8. Everybody
Yeah.
else is at 2 or 1. I have 2 of my own.
Yeah.
Everybody else is 1.
It is amusing too, like to share with your friends like that. I think it's fun.
That is cool.
Like it's just like, uh, of course, like you should have your friends'
And it only
corpses. Why
gets more
wouldn't you
interesting the more that it grows,
want someone
right? So
else
the
having
more
them?
once you have more people signed up for it, the more that it starts
Yeah.
getting even more, interesting. So, this, I mean, even at the small number of people that you have, it's already a lot of fun. But I'm interested to see what it's like in a year or two, when you have
Yeah.
thousands upon thousands of, hundreds of thousands possibly people, signed up on here.
Yeah,
Do
it's
it.
already started to grow so much faster than I thought it would. I've loved getting like feedback and like hearing from people like, "Oh, I love this," or "This is so cool." It's been a good time. And to answer your question, Dreadlocks, that's why I joined Faction Warfare PvP is to try to get better at small gang and solo.
Yeah, we had a
Yeah.
solo,
Dreadlocks asked.
a light
Small game
solo
solo.
run this afternoon, unfortunately. But the faction warfare is one of my favorite places to do solo PvP because it's usually against somebody who also wants to do solo PvP.
Yeah,
It's
you
very
tend to
rare
get
in
better.
Eve. Yeah, and you
You're
tend to
more
get
likely
much
to get a
better.
1v1.
Yeah, and a real 1v1, not a I'm attacking you and you don't want me to attack you. However, I give a lot of respect to a lot of the
Or a
hunters out at
1v1.
right, or a 1v1. Yeah. But very rare in Eve are you going to find somebody that you're not hunting that is reverse hunting you at the same time. It definitely happens in 0.0. It's pretty rare. I think it's pretty common in faction warfare, though, to find a small gang or 1v1 fight where both sides are like, yeah, I'm gonna just, it's close enough. Let's throw at it and just see where the skill level. Because really, I've seen really bad comps go up against really good comps, and people are really bad with the good comps, and people are really good with the bad comps, and it works out. Like,
Yeah. In Rust we trust. I would just go cheap ass ships and blowing up. That's my favorite thing to do is cheap ships blowing up expensive ships, especially when you're doing solo work. It is the most satisfying. But yeah.
so what are you doing at this time? You said you're still in Amar faction warfare. Is that correct?
Yes, that's
So
where my main is.
what's the feeling over there right now? I know that the Galente are on their back foot. The Keldari are punching real hard. To be honest, I haven't really been up to snuff on what's going on over in the Amar war zone.
Mm.
Amar is winning, Amar Victor. We've been pushing and
Where's
moving
Canuck?
further north.
Well, I know that the Mimitar fleet seems to have gone out to the drone lands to a certain degree. Not fully abandoning faction warfare, I don't believe, but I believe that a lot of their push is no longer, concerned about winning faction warfare at all.
Yeah, that has been uh like some of the common word is like people don't push the objectives in factional warfare. It's more about like farming LP or something like that. I mean, I have fun trying to make number 100 and flip systems, but like I get the overall sentiment that some people have too. And that's another reason why I feel like I'd be super hyped if they did add like some kind of like independent like faction like the Blood Raiders, because like in lore they appear all over like New Eden, even though like their main area is like near Amar space. Like they follow the Sisters of Eve around, so I feel like there's a lot of cool mechanics you could do if you made like a 1v all like group that was about blood, or like just something to spice up factional warfare like in general. But in the meantime, I'm gonna stick to making the trophy case that I make, and
Absolutely.
just pray that CCP has a plan.
Well, I know that Faction Warfare is supposed to get some big updates coming this year. There's going to be a refocus on some special campaigns and special things that they're going to focus on driving new players to Faction Warfare, which I think is a good thing. Like I think Faction Warfare is a good like showing of what Eve is kind of about. That there's a bunch of money to be made, but it's dangerous. But it's also about living it where you're making your money, but and joining bigger organizations in order to like get the safety that you're kind of it's kind of like a stepping stone into a lot of the different aspects of Eve without being you know fully take you out of the usefulness of a frigate to a certain degree. I mean, zero
Yeah,
point zero, a frigate's still useful. Like, that's the one thing I do love about Eve is that a new player in PvP is very possible that they're an extremely big boost to the fleet. You throw them in some ECM frigate that's, and they get one good jam off, and that could do a whole bunch of stuff in a small gang PvP situation.
yeah,
Or
and every fleet
good
needs
tackle.
tackle.
Hunters.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hunters
tackle
and
is
tackle.
huge. You don't need to be
I
that. If you play a lot, especially like within a couple of weeks, you can become a really good like tackle frigate. Like
Yeah, I think it's definitely good that they're pushing new players towards factional warfare, because it does get you like into PvP, and like there's a community there that's built to like helping new players to like get into it and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
well, one of the things too that I did want to just before we kind of wrap things on up here is that there is a big war that's coming to 0.0. Do you have any opinions on this huge war that's happening out Winterco and Imperium? It looks like Imperium is going to be deploying everything. Have you heard about it? Any
Uh,
thoughts on the idea of the blue donut closing down from one hostile and two friendly groups down to two friendly groups possibly?
my biggest thoughts about it have been like, how can I get out there and maybe like scoop up some of those corpses? Like, how can I participate in that
Something
activity?
fast. Something
Yeah,
fast and hard to hit and
there's
get
been
away.
some brainstorming about how to do that. So maybe there'll be some fleets and streams in the
Tie
future,
dye's
because
a
I've
bitch
definitely
though.
it really is. I had some experiences trying to scoop corpses in that the other day. But anyone who's like flown with me and stuff knows I'm like comically bad about knowing who people are. Like it's always someone else who's like, "Oh yeah, this person's famous on your site. They blah 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 blah." And I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool." And then it's kind of I feel embarrassed. Other people I think it's funny. I'm not sure, but yeah.
I don't know who
So
anybody is, and we're not anybody, so we get it. We understand. We understand where you're coming from.
Hey man,
It's
we
the
went to
only people. No,
FanFest. This is third
the only
year, so
people that I
we
know
like
are the
know
people that
people, but
like
we don't know
we
people.
met. Like the people that we met, or the people that are in our corp, or the people that we've flown with. We know them. Some of them. I mean, obviously, when we interviewed CCP people on here, they're famous and stuff, and CSM candidates, and a lot of them are famous. But like, um, but yeah, no, like I don't know. Well, so what's important to Gwen in game is typically someone's kill board, because that tells me what I have to deal with and how can I kill them. What's the best way to kill them? So that's how I know. Like, and I'll be impressed with certain people's kill boards. Like, I'll see a kill board and be like, typically, honestly, and this is just a personal thing. What impresses me the most is solo kills on a kill board. And yes, I understand from personal experience, especially, that you can pad that in certain ways. But it takes a different player, I think, when you have uh, thousands of solo kills versus the person that has 10,000 kills but only has like 2 solo kills. It's a different, right? It's
yeah.
um, so yeah. So when Gwen personally sees someone else's kill board and they have hundreds or thousands of solo kills, that's impressive to me, or
Yeah,
to
I'm
Gwen.
still trying to
I
break
still spoke in the third
1,000. I'm
person.
at
You'll
871
get
solo
there. You'll
kills.
get there.
Oh, that's a lot. My you would not be impressed with my kill board.
No, no. But you do you. Like, it doesn't also, like, it doesn't, like, I'm just saying that. I mean, well, it's what I value, because it's what I, at least a while. I haven't done it in a while because now we're out in null, so it's
Hey,
a
you've
lot less
got
solo, and I'm
22
working on
solo
solo.
kills, so I mean, out of 1,000, you're not. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm
those
at
are
That's a good amount.
95%.
Good
You're at
ratio. That's a
98%.
good
So
ratio.
your
I like that ratio.
ratio ain't bad.
I like that ratio. Not bad. But uh, but yeah, no, I just um.
Wait a minute. Did you kill recently? You killed a bunch of Typhoon Fleet issues and an Apostle. It's a pretty sexy.
Yeah,
Killboard.
that was me. I was trying to scoop corpses during that fight too on an alt.
Oh, you're on our side. Yeah. Yeah, we were in the same fights. We were in some of the same fights, actually.
Oh, cool.
I
We
think.
were on grid and didn't even realize it.
Wait, no, this is Turner. Never mind. Sorry, my bad.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
it looks always, but no. But you killed a lot of frat, and we're down with that.
Yeah, killing Fred is always good.
Yeah, killing
Thoughts
frat's
and
always.
prayers for the lost mobile sanguine harvester.
Oh no. Yeah, that's truly that's a real loss.
Truly, truly a crime against
But
the Blood Raiders.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I yeah, I think Killboard is, and Frozen knows this. I was way too obsessed with the Killboard earlier on. I'm not as much so now, but like I was. But um, being obsessed with my own numbers, I mean, now of course, like if I'm solo hunting, I want to look at the Killboard so I know what to expect, right? Do they have a cloaky ship that I need to deal with, or that I don't want to deal with? Do they have are they literally just ratting and they don't do anything else? Okay, then I can just murder them, take the shit, right? So it's like,
Yeah,
um,
there's a lot of intel to get off
yeah,
Killboard.
yeah. And there's also lots of ways to fake that too. Like, I got dropped so many times solo gate camping that they would make new tunes just to drop me, because I
Oh yeah.
knew all their tunes. uh I knew all of their sinos. So like, okay, well, I know this is them. And then finally I was like, but then I started getting you can also tell that too, right? If it's a fresh tune and it's in a typical bait ship, and you just were dropped by someone else, or you're streaming or something like that, then it's like, okay, well, this is bait. It's obviously bait. Like they're trying to pretend it's not, but it's bait. But anyways, sorry, tangent.
Yeah, Crypt, anything that you want to talk about before we kind of wrap things on up here?
Just to encourage people to get out there, collect corpses, log into the site, record them, share with your
Yes.
friends. Gate
Okay,
camp more.
again. Yes,
You
gate
got
camping
the-
more. I need to gate camp more. I haven't gate camped in months.
Check out the
Hey,
website.
if you ever want to set up a bubble camp, let's do it. That's been my most flown ship recently, is the Heretic, for the reason of corpse
Interdictor.
collecting.
Yeah,
There
true.
is,
That is a good way to
nearby us. There's Head GP that we should someday just.
Camp.
That's where we might be able to do some fun camping.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what the politics look like and the movement looks like during these days, but it's all about.
I mean,
trying
I
to
feel like
find, low sec to high sec, or high sec to
I
0.0
like
or...
like if for at least for solo gate camping, I really like this, like the small systems, like Yvanger was my favorite, but now it's so dead. Fished that hole dry a long time ago.
Oh.
Plus the war zone changes, that like there's not as much, like Frozen was saying, it's not as much down there in
That's
our
very
war
true.
zone, so there's not as much to kill. Yeah.
All right, well, awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. This has been really awesome.
Thank you.
We will definitely.
It's been a lot of fun. Learned a
Thank you
lot.
so much for having me.
Try and get
Everybody
the word
check out the
there.
FrozenCrypt.space. Everybody check out FrozenCrypt.space. I linked it again. It'll be also linked on the episode when it goes up later.
Absolutely. And yeah, let me know if there's anything else that you want us to link, or any,
there'll be some
back on and talk about just Eve in general.
Yeah, for sure. I'd be happy to come back, and in the next week, if you're following, there'll be some more updates on the site.
Awesome.
Nice.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all for watching, and thank you for coming on, Samson, and have a great night.
Good night, New Eden.
Fly safe, everybody.
Fly dangerously.
Fly dangerously. Lose your corpses to us.